Hey everybody, it's Jill Fleming with Pampered Chef. Tonight I am going to be making one of my favorite meals. This is called beef taco skillet. This is something that a girlfriend of mine showed, and still through to this day it's one that our family absolutely loves. Okay, now there's a couple changes that I make in it. It calls for riced cauliflower, which we're not big fans of, so I use brown rice. And then also, I don't really care for green peppers, so I go with red. Again, you can make whatever mix you want it to be, okay? So the first step I'm going to use here is I'm going to show you our micro cookers. Now, these may look a little bit different from what you've seen. They were rejigged about a year or two ago, and the difference with the lids is everything actually twists to snap on, okay? So that would be the 1 and 2 cup version. And the 3 cup version is actually our rice cooker, okay? So the ends flip up to keep this lid on. There's actually a separate piece in here for steaming. So you can use this for rice, you can use this for making pasta, you can use this for potatoes, steaming vegetables. The 3rd cup size is one of my favorites, or 3rd quarts I should say. So we're just gonna put that in there. I've got 1 cup of water, and I've got 1 1/3 cup of brown rice for 10 minutes in the microwave. So that's an easy one to do. The next I'm gonna show you is how we are cooking our ground beef in this pan, and I'll bring it over after, but I'm gonna show you a couple different things here, okay? So this is our regular non-stick cookware. You can see that there's a little gray piece for it. And what that is for is the handle actually comes off for putting in your oven, okay? So the cookware is metal safe. So if you have metal utensils, not a knife though, but metal utensils to flip, you can also put this in your oven, not the broiler though, okay? So it would be a regular heat, and this can go in the dishwasher, okay? So this is done with an alloy center, okay? So why I talk about the alloy, because it's gonna give you the even heat from the center to the outside, and it has titanium on it, so you don't worry about scratching. The next one that you're gonna see me using when I'm actually cooking the beef in here, this is called, this is our non-stick stainless steel line, but you're gonna see that there's a really cool grid in here. So this is stainless steel cookware. Same idea, that it has that non-stick grid laid in it, okay? But what's different about it is you're not gonna have the worry of using stainless steel, okay? I find stainless steel extremely hard to cook in. You have to watch your heat, go high heat, use butter, use oil. Like, there's all different rules with it, and quite honestly, I find it very hard to cook in. But since we brought out this line, which is one of my favorites, and you'll hear me refer to it as our sexy pans, the whole reason behind that is when you're cooking with it, you can still get the perfect sear, okay? So non-stick cookware is when you think of like your bacon, thinking of your eggs, and our stainless steel non-stick cookware, that is gonna be your workhorse for your dinners, okay? So what I've done here is I'm still in the midst of cooking this, but you're gonna see that I have the 12-inch skillet. This is a must in every house, okay? Then this little tool that I'm using here, if you don't have it yet, this is actually called a mix and chop. So this is the one that I'm gonna be using to cook ground beef with. You can get in there, cook all your ground beef, you can do all your stuff. I'm doing live. And you can do your, any of your cooking of your ground beef, the rest of it, okay? And I'm gonna get in here and finish cooking this on the stovetop here, okay? So what we're gonna be doing is putting that back on there. And the neat thing about that mix and chop tool, if you're going to use, say, ground beef that maybe has a little bit of frozen layer to it, it's gonna cut right through it. I also use this, say, making frozen juice, maybe I'm dealing with frozen fruit, maybe egg salad sandwiches, guacamole, whatever it may be, okay? This is gonna be your guy for that. So I'm just gonna let that keep cooking there. Everything is broken up, so we don't need to use that piece anymore. The next step we're gonna go with to get this added in is your traditional knife cut, okay? So this is called a Santoku knife. This is one of my favorites. This is a 5-inch knife. It has the metal tang that runs from tip to tail. These knives are the best that you will ever have. They're German engineered, and we know that that is where the best knives come from in the world, okay? There's a certain metal composition that you wanna see. Pampered Chef has it. They are with the likes of like your Henkel, your Wolfstoffs. They're absolutely beautiful. This is one of my absolute favorite knives. So the next we're gonna do is just chop up this onion. We're gonna do a quick dice on it. Okay, so that's the 1/2 diced. Okay, so then that's the other portion of course, the onion. Okay, the next tool I'm going to show you, this is one of my absolute favorites. Actually, we'll dump this corn in. You can see that I have corn, and if you know me personally, you're going to find that we always do corn. Okay, so this is something that we'll buy the kernels in the summertime. We take and we blanch them and do a ton of things with it, okay? So it's super, super, super fun. The next thing I'm gonna do is take, and I just make a taco seasoning. I think it's from, oh my goodness, Allspice, or not Allspice, All Recipes or something. But it's like their famous taco seasoning. So I just make it in big containers because we love tacos in this house. And I'm just taking one of our adjustable measuring spoons, and I'm putting 2 tablespoons of the taco seasoning in there. And that's gonna go into that mix. Now here's the funny one. This is actually salsa. Okay, so this is a 1.5 cups of salsa that will go in the pan there. And we're gonna mix that all around. And then the next thing we're gonna do is take our red onions, okay? So this is really fun. So we're just gonna chop the tops off here. Get rid of that there for a second. I'm gonna take the centers out of it, and then the next tool I'm gonna use, which is one of my favorites, it's called a quick slice, okay? So this here, it's a little bit different when you think of our egg slicer. This one actually has 11 little blades on it, if you can kind of see that there, okay? So when you go to put anything in here, like if you're doing peppers, this one's got a little bit of a curve to it, so I'm gonna cut it down. But you can take and actually dice all your peppers, okay? So I put that under there, you give it a rock. The only thing that you don't ever want to use with a quick slice is carrots or potatoes because they are too hard. But you can see how I'm doing the rock back and forth, and the best thing is if you're standing over top of it, okay? So that's all cut down. We'll do the other half of this. I'm just going to take that little piece of pepper that fell on the side there out. We're going to keep dicing this up. And just do that rock with it too, okay? And then we've got one more little bit to go, and then I'm going to show you guys. Just leave that one to the side because I dropped on the ground. Next one we're going to do quickly is I'm going to take a can of black beans, okay? Now we know that black beans tend to have a lot of that liquid in it, and it's kind of yucky. So the best way to do that is obviously by dumping it in a colander. But I'm going to show you one other little thing that I love for tools, and that's our can opener. This works for lefties and righties, okay? So I'm going to take this, and I'm actually going to go, and you can see that there's holes in this. This is called our measuring colander. And we can shake out everything over top. I'm going to take that to the sink and give it a quick rinse. Okay, so you see that everything is straightening out from here. And I'm going to add that to the mix too, okay? So that essentially is the meal built up. I'll bring you guys over here. If I can do this without dropping this camera. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So you can see the mixes here that I'm going through, and I'm going to mix everything together. I'm going to bring it up to a cooked bit, and then what I'll do is I'll take and I'm going to sprinkle cheese over this. I'm going to mix that rice in there too, and then I'll sprinkle cheese over it, and I'm actually going to bake it off in the oven. So that's when you get your skillet. My husband absolutely loves taking this recipe, okay, and he likes to serve it with taco chips. But I just love to eat it in a bowl, okay? So when you're ready to go, you can garnish it with some green onions. Keep it really simple. It's one of my favorite recipes. And that's it, okay? Like meal in minutes. It is so fast to do. Have a good night.